Johnny and Janie, who are past childhood, are not yet quite grown into manhood and womanhood. They are in between. And the in-between period is known as adolescence. And one important aspect of adolescence is known as puberty. This name is used to describe the physical growth and change that bring sexual maturity. Let's see how puberty affects Johnny. Puberty might begin any time between the ages of 9 and 16, but for average Johnny, it comes at 14. Puberty begins with a change in the functioning of certain endocrine glands or glands of internal secretion. Here's how. The pituitary gland at the base of the brain, which controls growth, begins to secrete in great quantity the growth hormone. The slow growth of late childhood takes a sudden spurt, and for about 3 years, the boy grows rapidly in height, weight, and strength. Shortly after the spurt in growth comes the secretion of a second hormone, the gonadotropic hormone. This brings about the appearance of the primary sex characteristics, which are directly related to reproduction. In boys, this means the increased development of the sex glands or gonads called the testes, and the genital organ, which is the penis. At the time of emission, the fluid carrying the sex cells passes the prostate gland, where a milky secretion is added to form semen. Spermatozoa are constantly being formed in the testes and stored ready for expulsion. Occasionally, they are released during sleep in nocturnal emissions. This normal involuntary action is considered a definite sign of puberty in boys. Along with the primary sex characteristics, other changes are related to sexual maturing. They are called secondary sex characteristics. These are physical features which distinguish the male from the female body, but are not directly related to reproduction. They include the growth of pubic and underarm hair, increased perspiration under the arms, and the growth of hair on the arms, legs, and chest. The muscles grow stronger, the shoulders broader, and the down on his face becomes coarser and thicker. Lengthening of the vocal cords brings about a change in the voice. During the change, sometimes it comes out high, sometimes low. Now that all this has happened to our Johnny, he is very close to being a man. Let's see what happened to Janie during puberty. Here she is at age 10. She is an average girl, just as Johnny is an average boy. In girls, puberty is preceded for a year or so by increased secretion of the growth hormone from the pituitary gland. And for about 2 years, Janie grows rapidly. Actual puberty begins at about 13, usually a year earlier than it does in boys. At this time, the sex or gonadotropic hormone is secreted in greater quantity, and the sex glands and organs develop rapidly. Since these are all internal organs in girls, their rapid development may cause the stomach to protrude. The pubescent girl is usually very self-conscious about this. These are Janie's primary sex characteristics. At puberty, female sex cells begin maturing within the ovaries. Usually, one egg reaches maturity and is released every 28 days. The ovum travels through the fallopian tube toward the uterus. At the same time, the lining of the uterus becomes engorged with blood and nutritive fluids in preparation for the development of a fertilized egg into a baby. If the female cell is not fertilized, it dissolves or disintegrates in the tube. Then the uterine wall lining, no longer needed to receive a fertilized egg, breaks down and is discharged from the body through the vagina. This release of blood, mucus, and unused cell tissue normally takes place every 28 days and is called menstruation. During the years of puberty, Janie develops the secondary sex characteristics of girls. From a flat-chested child, she becomes a curvaceous teenager. Her breasts fill out and her hips grow rounder and broader. Pubic and underarm hair grows. The texture of the skin changes slightly, and the tone and quality of the voice becomes lower and more melodious. Now Janie is a normal teenager because along with these developments, the functioning of her endocrine glands has been normal. Once puberty has been accomplished, the sex glands secrete sex hormones. These slow down the secretion of the growth hormone by the pituitary gland, and the adolescent gradually stops growing. It is this balanced interaction of the sex and pituitary glands that brings about normal development. And this is important because if the functioning of the glands is not balanced, the adolescent may differ from others of the same age. We have seen that Johnny and Janie have developed great capacity for activity mentally, emotionally, and physically. They have grown much stronger. Besides all this physical growth and activity, there is a sudden expansion of their social horizon. Their relationship with their friends is new and tremendously exciting. Therefore, each Johnny and each Janie need the sympathy, understanding, and cooperation of parents and teachers to help them through these in-between years that we call the age of puberty.
If you found this next level video informative or educational, become a subscriber to my Patreon. A Tier 1 monthly subscription gives you access to unfiltered, evidence-based video and live streaming content available only to subscribers. A Tier 2 monthly subscription adds Zoom consultation for you or a small group of friends and family. For more information, visit patreon.com/Jen Burlton. If professional development education for your business or organization is of interest, please visit burltoneducation.com. Thank you.